everybody, lovely to see you. So, the biggest thing that I want to talk about is my paints, because I've changed them from the jars into the bottles. And there've been some, like Chrissy was just saying there, it's the best thing that could ever happen in her store. Other people are a bit upset. One of the main reason I'm changing is I'm absolutely sick of customers moaning because they don't look after them properly and moaning. And New Zealand, I'm so sorry, we've only just introduced them into New Zealand. We still have them. You can still order the jars, we just won't be making more when we've run out. And in England, my store is full of the jars because obviously we're not reducing in the modern, we're still selling them, but we're going to sell them tandem. But once a colour stops, you can only get it like this. Now, I know it's a problem for a lot of stuff. There's never a good time to transition. I'll upset somebody. So what I did was I brought out 12 this time, and it fits in my shimmering stand. So you can buy the stand with the 12 new colours and still continue selling your jars, etc., and then it'll transition people in. Do you see what I mean? I have taken out 6 colours because I've added 12, and I never like a big line. I want people to be able to buy most of them rather than, oh, I've only got to buy so many. So I've taken out the 6 bottom sellers, which included the 4 darks, which has upset some people, but I'm like, go and buy them now, stock up on them now. So I'll do video, I'm going from here to Frankfurt show, and then when I get back, I'll do videos, I'll do education, etc. And so I've taken out, after midnight, ground coffee, chopped pesto, pomegranate seed. You don't need to remember it because I'll tell you with it. And then took out the grey and the melted chocolate. And they were the bottom sellers out overall. Actually, I don't think grey was the bottom seller, but Dirty Martini was in there, and there's no way I was getting rid of Dirty Martini. So I think I sort of juggled the figures a little bit there or something. I was like, no. I didn't want grey to go, but look, black and white, you can make grey. So, and it's been mixed reactions. One woman said, I'm so disappointed in you. I've just bought them all in jars. It's terrible of you to do this. It's the same paint. It's exactly the same paint. The good thing with it, they'll use it up quicker. They'll come back and they'll do. I wanted it in a flip top, because then you can just squirt a bit out. And to me, I never understand paints that are that way up, because then the paint is always at the bottom when you come to use it. So mine are all this way. So in that stand, they won't fit snug because it's made there, but they're not going to fall over. You know, they'll just be a little bit wobbly, and it'll drive my Ben mad because he's OCD, but they fit in that stand. Or they're just lovely to put on shelves or in baskets. I think they look lovely mixed in baskets as well. So I've taken 6 out and I've brought 12 in. These 6 match the sprays that came out mid-summer. So these were those colours here. And then I've brought in, these are totally new. And I want to talk about these because they're totally different to any of the other paints I've got. I call this my cocktail range. They're very sort of neon and fluorescent-y, but I didn't want to call them that because then people think you just use them on their own. They go in, and on the boards, we've put them in. But for the purpose of this show, all the samples are made either with these paints or with these paints. But in reality, they'll just be in there and I'll just pick them and use them as I go. I called them the cocktails and give them cocktail names for a laugh because I thought they would get vetoed, and they didn't, they came through. So there we go. Lemon drop, sour appletini, a blue Hawaiian, mango punch, tropical sangria and strawberry daiquiri. Okay, so so all the samples are made from those. These have a different makeup to these. These have got some resins in and they're a lot more translucent to give that oomph, okay? I will not be bringing sprays out in these. It's too difficult to do. It means there's going to be pigment in there, it's going to be hard. So these will never have sprays with them. When I first got them, I was like, oh, they needed shaking up. They don't, yes, thank you. You can see here, there's hardly any paint on this page, but just look at the brightness, the qualities of them. Can you see? And you can see the translucentness. They will build up and you can make them stronger, but I just love them like this. So this is these paints. This is the lovely matte finish that you've come to know of Dylusions. And these, what I've found with this is beginners can't make a mess. They can't put too much paint on because they're translucent. So in class, it was amazing. Everybody, there was nobody going, ooh, because the translucence of them. So you can see here. So this was these, and this was these in here. What you can do as well is you can put them on, you can use them with the others, or you can put them on the top. So that was all these with just a little bit on the top to give it oomph, okay? And I'll make that clear in the, when I'm educating. I don't want people to think they are used on their own. They're just sort of in there, but you can use them on their own as well. But look how gorgeous they look that way up, which is another reason I wanted. When you put like little colour things on, they never look the same. Some of these paints might look like some of these, but they might look close, but they're not because of the luminous thing in there. Do you see what I mean?
So all the colors we've come to know and love, plus the 6 that match the
yes,
are the same formulation.
Yes, same formulation.
It's just the neon.
Yes,
well,
the cocktails.
The
cocktails. Because there wasn't anything wrong with the formulation.
Right.
It was the fact that people didn't understand the jar, so the paints would thicken in the jar. That was it. So, you know, this, you think that's the air that will get into one of these as opposed to a jar. And that's the problem. The only thing with these is they have a little thing on, and I always forget. And when they're brand new, I'm like, like this. But also, these will travel better as well, because I don't know what they're like when they get to New Zealand, but sometimes in the air, the pressure just leaks. There's nothing wrong with the paint, they've just leaked into it. So that's there's never a good time to transition. I know there isn't, but hopefully it's going to be really good going forward. And there'll be haters and there'll be people. And like I say, I didn't know when we introduced them to you last year, we didn't know we were changing.
Do they need shaking?
No, I never shake them, but there is they've put a little bottle in, a little thing in, because they're in these bottles. We've tested them, but the longest we've had them is 6 months, and nothing's happened to them. But before they were in a jar, so they've put that in just in case they might need shaking. Do you see what I mean? But
so in the stand, if they were there for a couple of months, they're not settling down.
So far 6 months, no, they haven't. They haven't at all. These will be the ones that might, because of the resins in them. I don't know. But so far they haven't. But it's because normally you'll test paint for a longer time, but there's nothing wrong with the paint. It's just it's higher up and taller, so because it never separated in the jars, so that's what we need to do. The big thing that I'm most excited about is the collage sheets. I'm a collage artist, I always have been. It's my big love, and it's really hard. I found it hard. So when I come into a store and people want collage, I have to do a lot with backgrounds, because there's nothing you can sell with collage. It's normally magazines, so I have to do a lot of background work, which doesn't leave a lot for the top work. So it's been my thing for a long time that I wanted to do something when I come in and do it, I can sell it. If you know collage, sheets like these normally sell for like $2 or $3 a sheet, which would make this a very expensive pack. So I've done them at $14.99, because you don't want them so expensive that your customers will go and photocopy them. They won't get the quality of the paper, but you want it at a reasonable price. They're like, oh, I'll just go buy another packet. Do you see what I mean? I was making it a book. I've been doing it for 4 years, and I get bored, so then I use all the images. So I decided, instead of a book, I would make sets. So this is set 1 and this is set 2. Now, this is what it's going to be. Now, unfortunately, in all my samples, I had to use pre-production. Now, can you see it's shiny? So all my samples look shiny, and people are like, oh, I like this better. No, you don't want shiny for collage, because I can't write on it, paint it, ink it. I can't do anything to this. This I can. So as soon as I can, I only got these the day before the show, as soon as I can, I'll replace all these samples with the proper, because this can look a bit dull next to it, but it's not. This is what you want, okay? And it's really good quality paper. You can't use cheap paper because it'll wrinkle and it will ruckle. There's 16 full-size sheets in here, and they're all taken from my journal. This is all my work. This is some of my washi tapes, actually, because my washi tapes came from the journal. All my work is original, nothing's computer generated. We have weird ones and good ones. And then what we did was repeated them again, small. So you've got 16 large, and you've got 8 where you've got them slowed down. And there's set 1, there's set 2, there's different. They've all got on the back like this, the different bits and pieces in there. I use a glue stick. I'm a glue stick girl. I use my glue stick. The difference between mine and everybody else's is mine works. And but if your store is more of a mixed media, they can use gel mediums with this. But you wouldn't use a wet glue. Never use like an Elmer's or a Mod Podge, because again everything will ruckle.
Not even the Tim Collage.
Oh, I don't know. Do you
I'll
know?
test it.
Yeah, I don't know that. I'd be interested to know that.
Okay.
I forgot about that. Sorry, but I'd be interested to know in that. But I never put anything over the top because I'm always altering. Now, in the class, the beginners were like, "Oh my God, this is so easy. Pick a head, pick a body, do." And I was worried that more experienced collage people wouldn't. But I can't stop using them. I have got. And they're mine. I even know that, you know, I've got sample after sample after sample after sample. So if I'm enjoying using them, you know, I think they'll be great. What I suggest to people to do is, in a class, you can't copy and give. They have to have the real thing. But I would never give them the whole thing. I would either teach large and give them those sheets, or teach small and give them those sheets, because then they'll come out, they'll want to buy them again, and they'll buy the other, because it takes a lot longer than it looks. But you can see in here I've got all the stencils and things in as well, but really maximize it, or do it over so many weeks and things like that, because it takes longer to do. Let's put those there. New stamp. I've done stamp. Have I done stamps? No. You see, I'm only on my third and I've forgotten. These were the stamps that came out last time, just quickly in case anybody missed them. Merlady, Ocean Life, Crown Thorns, Glorious Blooms, Paper Dolls, and Down in the Woods. They went great. They were big stamps, so they went really well. So this time, I've geared them towards that set. They go with all my others, but for example, Merlady and Ocean Life, so I did shells and things. Do you see, I did things sort of to fit. Foliage fillers there. Toadstools, you can't get enough of toadstools, oh my gosh. So I did lots and lots of different designs of the toadstools. Again, these can be underwater or they can be with the flowers. And then 2 people I did really big this time. So big that that you can't fit the whole thing on a page, but that's not what they're meant to be. Can you see? So I've got like the body and the head, or I mix them around. This one, if you cut the skirt off, it becomes a planter to put flowers in and things like that. You can make them in a flip book. You could go over the top as well. Okay, here it comes. So the other 2 things that I'm really excited about was my new postcards and new canvas, because these have gone now. We have no more postcards left. We still do have some canvas, so I wanted new designs. So we brought out the new designs, and here are the designs. They're exactly the same designs, but here you can see the designs. These are the older ones here. People ask me all the time, are you going to bring out storage? No, because can you imagine a warehouse full of these big boxes taking up so much room? So I just use boxes and I just cover them with things, because this one will have my stamps in, because I'm always travelling with cutouts, and I always like a shallow box because I do this. I've sat in airports like this before, gluing and doing, but those are the images of the new canvas there. So new canvas, you can still get the old canvas. New postcards, you can't get the old postcards. New back chats. My lovely sweet sayings. And they're exactly the same sayings in both packets, except one is white with black writing, one is black with white writing. And here, I'm not bossy, I just know what you shouldn't be doing. I thought I had social anxiety. It turns out I just hate people. So they're my usual sweet sayings as well. People are really great as long as you don't get to know them. And you just peel them up. This is my cup of care. Look, it's empty. So the usual things that you come to know from me. Stencils. So I brought out new stencils, and this time I've brought small out again. So I never like to be predictable. So sometimes I'll bring 5, sometimes I'll bring 6, sometimes I won't bring small. Last time I didn't bring small, but I loved these though so much I wanted them in small as well. We have Fancy Floor. This, a lot of you might go, oh, I've already got that. It's not the same, but it's very similar. Why have I done that? Because the one that was like this, I haven't been able to get for ages, and I miss it so much. I don't mind buying them all. I'm happy because I just wanted it back. But it's different because it's all completely hand-drawn and it's redrawn. But you know, you might go, oh, that looks similar. It is similar, and I will make sure people know that, but they'll buy it anyway. You know what they're like. As soon as I say to them, you don't need it, they just buy it. So that's called Betsy's Blocks. This one is Martha's Mat. They're all for my grandchildren. This is Court Jester. This one is Otis Orbs. And this one is a really good example. Behind there's a stencil board. I do a lot like this, where I do all this on a plane. I just doodle with my stencil. Oh, this book is falling to bits anyway. I doodle with my stencils, and then when I get home I cut out. So there's some really good examples of these stencils, especially this one round there. And then this one, I don't know why I never did it before, stitches. Why did I never think of it? Yeah. So this one is for, like, you can see that one is here around the edges. This is all the different ones here. And what I did with this one was I made sure everyone was apart. You know, this was, because one of my stencils I did before, I made the mistake, some of them, and then people make a mess. So look, you can do every single one, even in the small. Can you see every single one you've got room to do? If I'm at home, and I'm going to do this on here, I'm going to go between these seams. So if I'm at home, I use the black paint and I do this. But traveling here, and lots of the samples, I did all these were stuck, but I did all these on the plane, and I just did them with a black pen and coloured it in. So you can see, and these were all done with all the stencils. That's Martha's Mat, this is Court Jester. All the samples I've just used the new stuff that's come. It's just that this is the shiny.
Thanks for watching this video that was filmed in Phoenix, Arizona at AFCI's 2020 Creativation event. If you liked this video and want to see more from Scrapbook.com, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a message. Happiness is life handmade.